Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. You have no right to know the truth about this alien, extraterrestrial, non-human intelligence presence. This is for the government, not for you, not for me. It's for the government, and you better get that through your head to be studying this. You have no right to understand what's going on in this world. You have no right to know about reality. You know why? Because you might panic. There's no reason for you to be told the truth about this presence on this planet. Because if you knew the truth, you wouldn't be able to handle it because you'll be out in the street panicking and running around like a nut. So I don't know what you are thinking out there. You gotta stop. You gotta end this. You gotta stop this nonsense wanting disclosure. What are you, out of your gourds? You want the world to know the truth? You couldn't handle it. None of you can. None of you can handle it. Of course, I'm just doing a little bit of joking here, but you know what? We're gonna talk like this today, just for the fun of it, and we're gonna talk about we're gonna take the stance of the Pro-UFO cover-up group, the people that are in favor of keeping this a secret from the rest of the world. So that's how we're gonna get into this today, and this I'm gonna talk about this because I received a message from one of my. Actually, a couple of different emails from one of my sources, an anonymous source who I've talked about a lot over the last 2 years or so. This person, I know who this person is. He's a retired electronics engineer who did work for the CIA, NASA, DARPA, and various defense contractors during his career. And now he's retired, and he has an interest in UFOs. And he sent me a message the other day saying that behind the scenes, the government's trying to work on trying to figure out how to repel these invaders and try to stop them from taking over the world and using mankind as a food source, along with all our animals, all of our cattle, and so on and so forth. That's his belief. And he might be right. There could be the reason that these things have been here for so long and they're not leaving is because they're in the process of consuming our world, including us. And the government needs to keep this a secret, because if they were to tell the world this truth, then everyone would panic, and there would be a socio-economic collapse, and so on and so forth. But before we get into all this, I'll start off with reading the emails. And he sent me an email, I responded, then he sent me another email. And I just want to make clear that this person is a real person. I've talked to this person a number of times on the phone. I know what he looks like. I've investigated him, and I know he's a real person, and I know that he was what he says he was. So it's not like this is just some rando person. No, this is a real guy who really was an electronics engineer for the government, and now he's interested in UFOs, and he seems to agree that the cover-up needs to continue. So we'll read this first message that he sent to me on Tuesday. He called the title "A Few Thoughts." Hi, Jim. Of course, I X'd out his name from these emails because he wants to remain anonymous, understandably. Anyway, he says, "Hi, Jim. First, I suspect that some of the most vocal debunkers are unconsciously working for the CIA. It's a common trick in media campaigns. They find the right sort of anti-UFO blogger, often some academic type who wants to show off his great wisdom. Then they simply give their career a boost with anonymous donations and sweetheart deals, so he will expand and reach more people. And of course, the opposite is also true. When they find a guy like you, they start to make complaints and try to drive down your ratings, etc. I'm sure you know." Yes, I do know. In fact, in recent months, there's been somewhat of a little shadow banning going on. Not really on Spotify, a little bit on YouTube, I would say, but mostly on Twitter. Oh yes, Elon Musk. He doesn't want to be proven wrong. Of course, he's never seen anything. But now even though we do have the evidence that shows that there's something here, he doesn't want to admit it. These people hate admitting that they're wrong. Either Elon Musk is really smart or he's really stupid. It's one or the other. He might be stupid when it comes to the extraterrestrial stuff, and now he doesn't want to be shown that he was being stupid, or he knows about it and he's just really smart. So I don't know. We'll have to figure that. Time will figure that one out. Anyway, continuing. Next, consider all the recent UFO investigations and where that got us. The people Kirkpatrick threw under the bus. He's talking about Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, the former director of the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or ARROW, who has been blatantly lying in public for the past year or so, particularly the last several months, since late last year, earlier this year. He's been going on airwaves and telling the world lies about UFOs. Anyway, the people Kirkpatrick threw under the bus had been on the payroll for as long as 10 years in many cases, so the whole psyop was set up well in advance and was ready to be played if needed. Apparently, all the public attention that began after the 2017 Times article was making things very uncomfortable. By last year, there were just too many official investigations and too many whistleblowers coming forward. It was time to play an ace. Kirkpatrick was chosen to be the hatchet man. It was a dirty job, but the quacks were easy to humiliate and thus discredit the entire UFO matter, as if there was no past history and none of the recent credible witnesses mattered. And of course, no one bothered to ask why. If these people were indeed such quacks, why had they been kept on the government payroll all these years? Finally, there's a pervasive media censorship concerning the mutilations and abductions. I've seen this many times over the years. A story appears in a small rural paper but is removed the next day and can't be found in the archives. It simply disappears. What he's talking about is he's noticed that whenever there's cattle mutilation stories that appear in local newspapers, at some point they just disappear and you can't find them in the archives anymore. That's because the government, according to my source, doesn't want people to know about cattle mutilations. They don't want people to be thinking about them because obviously these cattle mutilations are being caused by these alien visitors. That's what it is. It's not predators. It's not satanic cults. It's not the government, like some even people in the UFO try to say. That's not the case. It's UFOs that are seen in these areas before, during, and after these cattle mutilation events. Blood is completely drained from them, and body parts are removed with laser surgery, precision. Obviously, it's extraterrestrial. I mean, let's just face it, folks. That's what it is. But we're not supposed to know this, because if people were to concentrate on this too much, then they're going to start panicking. They're going to start panicking, and that's why you don't deserve to know. That's why there needs to be this cover-up that needs to be maintained. People can't know about this. Besides, we're trying to reverse engineer this stuff in the background, and you can't know anything about that. And if you were to tell you the rest of it about why the reason these beings are here, that they're trying to take over the world, how are you going to act? You can't deal with it because you're too stupid. You'll be running around the street screaming your head off and panicking. Anyway, continuing. So I ask you, what could justify such a level of secrecy? The reason, of course, is that if UFOs are revealed to really exist, then cattle mutilations, abductions, horrible experiments, etc. will also all become real in the mind of the public, and that's a recipe for a socio-economic upheaval and a major disruption of the program. The program is our only hope. We're making a lot of progress, and one day I believe we will develop the necessary capabilities to put a stop to this nightmare. We have some of the best scientists working on it. The main problem is that we don't trust any of the other countries to work with us because they might manage to come out ahead in some way, so we only included selected allies and forego any benefits that sharing data with rival powers might bring. Cheers, and then I X'd out the name to keep it anonymous. So you heard it. The program is your only hope, right? They're trying to figure this out in the background. I know some of you think you know about what's going on here. You know that there's a presence of some non-human intelligence presence among us, but that's all. You don't talk about it in public. Let this cover-up be maintained. Let it be maintained. You can't deal with the truth, so you have to be suppressed. Your words need to be suppressed. Your thoughts, right? There needs to be people. We need to start hiring some thought police here, actually. Knocking on people. We should start knocking on people's door. Have thought police knocking on people's doors and ask them, do you believe in an alien presence here? And if you say yes, right, then you need to be taken out and talked to. You need to be brought into a room and questioned for about 10 hours. Or maybe even arrested. Anyway, continuing. I actually wrote back. Hello, XXXX. I X'd out his name. Sometimes I wonder if you know more about what's going on than you have let on. For instance, this passage sounds more like knowledge than conjecture. The program is our only hope. We're making a lot of progress, and one day I believe we will develop the necessary capabilities to put a stop to this nightmare. We have some of the best scientists working on it. The main problem is that we don't trust any of the other countries to work with us, blah, blah, blah. Basically the same paragraph that he just wrote. Yeah, it does sound like he knows more than he's letting on. But that's his opinion. He thinks that in the background, this is a threat, that these beings are here. That's why the explanation for cattle mutilations, which might be the case, is that they're using them for food. That they drain the blood because these are insectoids. They're living off the blood. And they're also potentially living off our blood, or maybe that's what the plan is. Could be. I don't know. Some people think so, and maybe that's the thing. Here's the thing: we can't tell you about this, because if you know about this, you're gonna panic. You don't deserve to know about this, right? That you just don't, because you can't deal with it. You're too stupid. You don't make enough money. You don't have the right connections. Only the people that are studying this secretly, they're the only ones who should know about this, not you. You're not worth it. You're not worth. They should know. They should be privy to this. There's other people who should be privy to this, but not you, right? We need to have this cover up, folks, because other people are better than you are. Just so you know, there's people who are better than you are, smarter than you are, people who know how to comport themselves better than you, and you don't deserve to know, and you don't deserve any answers. None. You're too dumb. Anyway, I keep continuing here with my response. I think it's time to do a pro cover-up podcast and explain all of the benefits of maintaining the secret until the gatekeepers figure the whole thing out. I mean, absolute proof is now available to anyone who is interested in the subject. There should be no doubt in any person's mind who absorbs that evidence. Anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together after a little study should easily be capable of understanding that government officials have been lying about this forever. There's really no excuse for anyone who wants to know the answer to whether we're alone or not. The debunkers act as useful idiots to keep the low information folk from becoming interested. So the rest of us, the smart ones, can begin to talk openly about solutions to what exactly? Are we sure these things are here to take over the world? Are we positive that cattle mutilations happen because these creatures live on blood? Are we positive that alien abductions occur because of an alien hybridization program? The evidence informs us there is indeed a presence here, but those of us out of the gatekeeper loop can only speculate about what it all means. The evidence suggests that these creatures have extremely strong neural engagement capabilities. How do we know they haven't infiltrated the highest echelons of the secrecy group and are now in charge of the program? What if they've been in charge the whole time and allies of the human race do not exist in the program? So many questions with no answers. Anyway, yeah, you've inspired me to do a pro cover-up episode. There might be benefits to keeping the vast majority of the human population as ignorant as possible about reality, especially if this is a threat, which it probably is. When the change finally happens and human beings are herded onto awaiting saucers to be transported to alien butcheries, it will be better that nobody understands what is about to happen to them. Jim. Yeah, it's better that you don't know. When the time comes, remember that big saucer that Ricky Soros saw back in Stephenville, Texas in late 2007? Remember that? When one of these things lands and we're all getting herded into this thing, it'd be better that you know that you don't know what's about to happen to you, right? That's why you need to be, this cover-up needs to be maintained, because you shouldn't know these things. You shouldn't know these things. You need to be kept in the dark about it, because you'll panic otherwise. You'll panic. You just can't deal with it. There's people who are smarter than you out there, right? That are working in this control group. Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, for instance, that guy he's infinitely more intelligent than you are. Way more. He has it way over you. I mean, look, he lies blatantly to us all the time. Nobody does anything about it, right? He just keeps getting away with it. Goes to Congress, tells them lies, right? Puts out a report, that hour report filled with lies and nonsense. You know why? Because they're better than you are. They're better. They're smarter. They could lie. They get away with it. It doesn't matter. They deserve to know. You don't. They deserve to get to study this in secret. You don't deserve it. Because you know what? You can't deal with this truth. None of you can. You're too. Everyone. All of us. We're all too stupid. I'm too stupid. I can't. I shouldn't even be talking about this. What am I doing? I should be siding with these other people and telling everyone to shut up already. It's ridiculous, right? Anyway, yeah. And here's another thing. For all we know, the aliens, they might be in control of this program. They might have infiltrated the highest echelons of government, right? And they might be controlling this. So think about that. Why should you know about this? We should know. We should not get answers. We need to be left in the dark. We need to just be out here throwing out questions and not getting any answers. We should just be all complaining like we do. And we shouldn't get any answers. This cover-up just needs to continue, because the whole world will not be able to deal with this reality. They just can't, because they're too stupid. There'll be panic in the streets. The people will be running around with their arms up in the air, screaming and hollering like maniacs. The whole world. That's why you have to stay. We have to, we give the power to this control group, to these gatekeepers. They deserve it. They're better than us, right? They come from better families. They come from wealthy families, right? They're living in luxurious homes, right? They have great lives, right? They're better than we are. They're better than we are. They deserve it. They deserve it, right? If they need to kill somebody, well, they got the power, right? You don't. They do. They get away with it. That's why they need to keep this cover-up going. That's why everyone needs to get behind the cover-up, right? Let's get behind the idiots out there like Stephen Greenstreet and Mick West. Let's all prop them up higher, because they keep telling us these great lies all the time. Everybody loves it. There's all these people out there drinking it in. It's so awesome, isn't it? Let these aliens take over the world. We'll just sit there in the dark until it's too late, right? It doesn't matter. Let these other people, maybe they're figuring out a way to get out of the planet before it's too late. Maybe that's what they're doing. Who knows? We don't need to know. Whatever they're up to, that's their business. That's their business. They're using your tax dollars. That doesn't matter. That shouldn't matter to you. Who cares, right? They got they were able to climb up some sort of a ladder. Then they kicked the ladder away, and now they're perched in this, propped up in this perch away from the rest of us, because they're better than you. They're better than me. They're better than all of us, right? They deserve to know. They deserve to know everything. You don't get this. You shouldn't know anything. So when Sean Kirkpatrick throws out stupid excuses and lies, right? Just sit there and realize he's better than you, and he should be allowed to get away with it. He should be. We need this cover up. It needs to be maintained. You can't handle that. I mean, if they're here to drink your blood, you don't need to know that. They should know it, right? They should know it. They should be prepared for it. It's never going to be enough for them. They need more. They need more money. They need more power. They need more wealth. And you don't want to give it to them. And you shouldn't want. You should let them want to have that. You should want them to keep it. You should want to let them maintain this. You don't need to know the truth. And in fact, when they tell you that the one of the Kumburgis Turkey aliens is a mirage or something, you should just believe them, because guess what? They're better than you are. You're just stupid. They're smarter than all of us, right? They listen to them, right? They got the power, they got the money, they got the prestige, they got the wealth. They come from the best families. They had the best educations, right? They're better than you are. They deserve to know it. They deserve to keep this cover up. These gatekeepers, these are great people. We should start a church. Why don't we start a church? Let's start a church up, a new church, a church to the gatekeepers. We'll have big paintings on the wall we won't have their faces, because we won't even know who the hell they are. But we'll just have like a Catholic church is set up with the big paintings of Jesus. Instead of Jesus, we'll have pictures of blank-faced people, gatekeepers we'll call them, the gatekeepers, that will pray to them, because they're better than we are. They're like gods. They're like gods. They need to know. They should have all of this. They deserve it. We don't deserve anything. We don't deserve to know anything. Anyway, let's continue here. Then he wrote back. He says, "Bravo, Jim. As you said, we know they're here, but what are they doing here? I think the mutilations and abductions and the genetic experiments are the key. We're a food source and a supply of lab rats for whatever twisted experiments they want to perform. That's the terrible truth we're being protected from." Yeah, let me just stop there. Yes, we're lab rats and we're a food source. This is what he thinks to these creatures, and that's why this secret needs to be maintained. Yes, we shouldn't know. We're too dumb. The rest of us are too dumb. Only the gatekeepers should know this. They should be the ones that should study this. The small group or whatever, how many group, I don't know how big the group is. Let's say 1,000 people. 1,000 people. They're going to figure it out for us. Right? Let them figure it out for us, and we'll just live lives in blissful ignorance. Because we're too stupid. They're smarter. They come from better families than we came from. obviously, right? We're like peons, right? We're peons. They're like better. They're like an upgraded version of a human being. They deserve to keep the secret. We shouldn't know anything about it. So when the aliens finally do something, we should all be caught with our pants down. They'll have a rocket ship ready to fly off the planet, to safety, because they got the money and the prestige and the wealth and the power. They're better than we are. They're better. That's why we need to keep this covered up. We need to keep it covered up for those people. They need to be safe and secure. They need to eat better. I mean, the caviar, I mean, they need better caviar. I mean, they need to have better stuff, more stuff, more yachts. They need more yachts, right? They do. They need more yachts. Anyway, continuing. If I take a look at the other reasons you offered in your survey, none of them seems to work quite as well as that. He's talking about a survey I had on Spotify recently. I just want to point out to those on Spotify that Spotify has been doing some upgrading recently, and there's no way to comment still. I thought they had it fixed the other day, but no, it's not ready yet. There's no way you could comment. So for the time being, if you want to leave a comment for him on any of the episodes that I have, you could always shoot over to YouTube. You could always leave a comment there for the time being if you want to. Anyway, he's talking about some of the choices I had in this survey where I asked about what's the reason the aliens are here, and he goes through them one by one. He says here, expedition outpost. That seems like there's too many of them for a mere outpost, and in that case, why do the abductions, etc.? Exactly. Yeah, they're not here. It's not an expedition outpost. A vacation spot. This implies they're peaceful, so then why don't they make contact and let us show them a really good time? It doesn't seem like it's a vacation spot. They're here to help us. Well, he says they've been here for 70 years, yet they've never done anything helpful that we know of. If they really wanted to help us, all they have to do is land on the White House lawn and tell us how to solve all our problems. Yeah, they really haven't done that as far as we know, unless they're meeting with the gatekeepers, unless they made a deal with them, because they're better than you are. Just remember that. The people who are selected to be gatekeepers, they're like the higher echelon of human beings. Right? We're a lower echelon. Everyone else, we're all lower echelons, right? That elite group, right? They're better than you are. That's why they deserve to know everything. We don't need to know anything. They need to know it, though, because they're better than you. Just keep that in mind. The next one here. Food and resources. Bingo! And we're on the menu. Yeah. He thinks that they're here for food and resources and that we're part of it, just like in that Twilight Zone episode, to serve man. Take control of Earth? Yes. I doubt they plan to march troops down Main Street with a brass band, but they clearly are able to get away with whatever they want, so that's a de facto control already. Yeah, they're in control. They're in control, except they're not in control of the secret control group, right, of the United States, as well as the other secret control group, mini secret control groups outside of the United States. Yeah, they're not in charge of that. Or maybe they are. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Maybe the control group is a mixture of aliens and these better human beings, these enhanced human beings, these human beings who are better than you and me, right? Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's a mixture there, huh? I don't know. Maybe, or maybe it's not. But it doesn't matter. Whatever the case, the people that are in charge, they're better than you and me. Just keep that in mind. We could take wild guesses, but I prefer to work with the facts as best as we know them, Occam's razor and so forth. Scientific study. With all their technology, they should be able to complete a study in a couple of years at the most, and it wouldn't require so many of them. There are way too many of them here for much too long for it to be a mere research project. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that was scientific study. More people voted for that than anything else in that poll. You think that scientific study would have been concluded a long time ago? Why is it ongoing for 70 years? And why are people getting abducted all the time? In fact, just the other day, I was on the phone with a young man who said he's been getting abducted by aliens for the past 4 years, and he has some really interesting stuff to tell me. And he said he was interested in coming on the show, so hopefully he does come on the show soon and tells us about his experiences. So alien abductions, they're still happening, folks, according to this person I was talking to the other day, and he's been one of the targets. Anyway, continuing. Besides all the mutilation and abduction evidence, there is also what I once described as the ultimate proof, the alien autopsy report. I'm sort of surprised you haven't paid more attention to the autopsy published in Reddit last summer. I spent a lot of time with it, and I believe it's genuine. And get this, it clearly shows that the creatures are insectoid and probably absorb nutrition through the skin in some form that they refine from the blood they collect. That more or less confirms the terrible truth that we are being colonized by a race of insectoid predators who feed on blood and body parts and have entrapped and make use of our population like a herd of cattle or a pack of lab rats. Okay, now what he's talking about, there was a guy, an anonymous person, who posted this big, long post on Reddit last summer, and he claimed that he was part of an autopsy of an alien being, and he had this guy obviously was a doctor, obviously, because he wouldn't be able to write the way he did. But we can't say for sure. I can't say that that's the ultimate proof. It sounded really good. I did talk about this last year. It sounded really good, but I just don't know. Anyway, continuing, he says, that would definitely justify a cover-up, at least until such time as the military is ready to respond. If you think about it, there must be things we could do that the aliens are afraid of, or else why are they being so stealthy, and why the need for infiltration? As advanced as some of their technology is, I suspect that they have some sort of an Achilles heel that they don't want us to discover. Perhaps there is something their technology is based on, which, if it were disrupted, would leave them helpless, much like if our power grid went down. So the situation isn't hopeless. We just need time to work on it, and avoiding a panic could make all the difference. Cheers, XXXX. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, we need to have this control group in charge in behind the scenes, and they need to keep this secret. So when we've come up with the absolute evidence, we need to be told by some of the operatives of this control group, or some of the useful idiots of the control group, that what we're seeing is not evidence of an alien presence. We need to be told that, because we're too stupid to deal with the truth. You're too stupid. You'll panic. You can't deal with it. If they're here to take over the world, you're not going to be able to deal with that. You're going to go crazy. Even though you've been living under the threat of annihilation every day of your life since you were born. Because as everyone knows, since the 1940s, we've been living under the threat of a nuclear holocaust ever since. Because there's missiles pointing on all different directions, in all different places across this world. And if there's ever a World War III, we're all done anyway. But the idea that there are alien creatures here, and they're here to take us over, and they're slowly absorbing mankind, and they're using our cattle as food sources, and potentially even human beings as food sources, which I don't know if that's the case or not, but it could be. I just don't know. We don't have any answers. The people in the secret control group, they have answers, but they are smarter than you are. They're better than you are. Again, they come from better families. They're raised in a better way than you are. They're smarter people, like Sean Kirkpatrick. He should be allowed to lie like he does. That's okay, because he's a better human being than any of us, right? Better. I mean, he comes from a wealthy family. He went to the best schools. He's now the head honcho there at Oak Ridge National Laboratory, and that's who he is. He should be allowed to lie. He should be allowed to know all of this stuff. He should be allowed to make all the discoveries with the crash retrievals and the alien bodies. He should be allowed to know all about that stuff. The rest of us shouldn't, because we're too stupid. We're too dumb. We don't deserve it. This cover-up needs to be maintained, because the whole world, we're such idiots that we'll just panic. We're going to take to the streets the second this information comes out. We're all going to take to the streets, and we're going to be running down the streets with our arms flailing up in the air. We're going to be screaming like maniacs, and there's going to be a total collapse of the economy, and the whole world's going to go crazy. And so that's why. And meanwhile, the control group will be sitting back. See, we told you you're going to go crazy if you told the truth, because we're better than you are, we're smarter than you are, and you can't deal with it. And unlike us, because we were bred in a different way than you are. We come from better families, better upbringing. And we have better education than you are, and we're just better altogether in every single way. And that they deserve it. They deserve to know the truth, and you don't. They should have it, and you shouldn't. So let's give it to them. Let's all cheer for the cover up, for the people in control, for the gatekeepers. They deserve it. We don't. We're too dumb. They're better than you are. Just keep that in mind. They're better than you and me. They just are. And there's nothing you can do about it. And you should be worshiping them. We should start a church. Let's start a church. We'll start a church and we'll pray to the gatekeepers, right? We should prop them up as gods. We'll make them gods, like faceless gods. We'll have paintings on the wall of these faceless gods in robes, right? Studying UFOs and dead alien bodies in laboratories and other, and we'll have like pictures of money all over the place, right? Because that's what that's what they thrive on. They love money and greed and power. And let's make a new church starting tomorrow. We'll call it the Church of the Gatekeeper. Church of the Gatekeeper. That's what we'll do. We'll pray to them. We'll pray that they keep the knowledge to themselves for all time. Well, that's what we'll do. We'll all pray and please never tell us the truth. Please never tell us the truth. That's what we'll do. We'll chant. We'll have chants. We'll have chants. They're better than we are, and you can't deal with it anyway. You're too stupid. Just think about it. Look at yourself in the mirror tonight, and then look at a picture of Sean Kirkpatrick. Look at Kirkpatrick and look at yourself. And say, then you'll realize, oh, he's better than me. He deserves to know the truth. I'm too stupid to handle it. Even though we have evidence that proves that there's aliens here. At the same time, no, don't look at it. Don't look at it. That's against the law. Whatever you do, don't look at that evidence, right? Because let me tell you something. The evidence that's out there, that would have been classified as top secret, above top secret, had the government got its hands on it before it was released to the public. So you know what? Stop looking at it. Don't look at it anymore. You shouldn't, because you can't deal with it. You're going to crack up. If you keep looking at that imagery from the Vegas case, you're going to go crazy. Only those gatekeepers, they're the only ones who can handle it. They're the only ones, because they're better than you are. So you got to give it up already. Stop. Anyway, I want to say thank you all for joining me. Until next time.